Doc? Oh, sorry, Dr. Wolf. I probably should have noted that in my appointment application.
Oh, you must be Miss Doodle Dabble then.
The one and only.
Well then, I guess it would be a bit out of the ordinary, but we can certainly have our appointment this way.
Thanks, Doc, and hey, at least you don't have to worry about your office getting blown up this time around.
True enough. So, Miss Doodle Dabble, tell me what's on your mind.
See, Doc, how much do you think we can change before we're not really ourselves anymore?
I guess that we're all going to change in the future, whether we want to or not. May I ask what brought this question to mind, Miss Dabble?
Well, I'm a doodle, you see? A sketch. I don't even have color yet. I mean, I don't really know who I'm gonna be. I guess you could compare it to being a blank flank, just for all of me. I'm so excited for the day I'll see my true colors, but when I become a full picture, can I still be a doodle?
I would guess that a lot of these questions can be answered by the journey of the Cutie Mark Crusaders throughout MLP. In particular, Bloom and Gloom comes to mind here, as Apple Bloom became very concerned about how much her life could and would change from having a cutie mark, even wondering if she could still be the pony she was before. Question is, would it be okay for us to always have that aspect present in our everyday lives? Should we ever reach the point where we know exactly who we need to be and stop the search right then and there?
Well, people are always growing. If we're not, I'd think we'd be doing something wrong. In respect to cutie marks, I have many things I like to do. I mean, that's why my cutie mark's 5 stars representing excellence, and each star representing something I want to be excellent in. Currently, though, my job dilemma is between opera and business. And a job is the first thing people say when they're describing themselves. I'm a professional singer, for example. The CMC finally getting their cutie marks was something the analysis community debated for a while. Could they still be the CMC? The relationship was formed on all being blank flanks. In Doom and Gloom, I related a lot with Apple Bloom. I would often hear stories of people's past their career starting off with, "If you told me in college I was going to do this job, I would have called you a liar." So when Apple Bloom became the pest control pony, that just reawakened that fear.
And I imagine that many of those fears still remain even after acquiring her cutie mark. Much like what we've seen from the main 6 when they start to question whether they truly understand their own purposes in life. We know they received their cutie marks long ago, and yet each of them still has to struggle with how they should go about pursuing their lifelong goals, or whether they've really found all they're good at. I'm rather interested to see what sort of stories the CMC will go through during this next season. And just like what we've seen in MLP, I know each of us are going to struggle with those same questions every now and again. But let's say for a moment you actually did become that opera singer or business manager you've been working towards. What then? What sort of goal would you be striving for once you already achieved your greatest dream, Miss Dabble?
That's true. While I probably would have had it the hardest, she had a cutie mark of magic because that was her passion. Her identity seemed to have been based on herself as a student, but life shaped her into her destiny of a princess, like the one under whom she studied. I think the closest runner-up would have to be Fluttershy if she ever grew to be confident in front of people. If I did become a singer or executive, I think that destination would be a journey in and of itself. There's always a new show to do, part to sing, a way to interpret a role, or a new venture to grow a business into. My dream would be to be the greatest I could possibly be in whatever I become, to pursue an excellence that astounds.
I'm actually glad to see an entire world populated by ponies with cutie marks, who still have to struggle with everyday life. It's a reminder that even when we do figure out where our greatest talents lie, the challenge still goes on. We may never learn what the best decisions for our lives might have been. And while the CMC's original plan of trying anything and everything until something sticks was taking things a bit too far, I still find it a far better option than just waiting for life to come along and hand you an answer on your destiny. Maybe we will change so much that we become unrecognizable when compared to our old selves. But in the end, change is the only way we can grow. Does that make sense to you, Miss Dabble?
Yes, but what about that day when I look back and can't even recognize myself now? Like if Frozen looked back at Hans Christian Andersen's version of itself. Since we're kids, we dream about what it will be like as an adult. Maybe it's a trait we have to overcome or something we're already good at and want to do for the rest of our lives. For me, it's when I think of if or when I become a masterpiece. My name will probably be more ironic than anything at that point. I see my older drafts, questions I asked, the things I could have sworn I would do with my life. Doc, do you think that time was wasted? Wouldn't it just be much easier if we could just see handed what we're gonna do with our lives from the get-go, get that shining light coming down from heaven above, and go forth with what we're meant to do with the rest of our lives? I could just go ahead and start mastering it now. Sometimes it just feels like a guessing game with myself.
We do what we can with what we have where we are. And while we may wish for an easier answer as to which path to follow in life, I suppose we can at least take comfort in the fact that we have far more opportunities and choices before us than our parents, our grandparents, and really most anyone else before them. We have been given marvelous gifts because we have so much more freedom to choose. And with that freedom comes greater responsibility and greater potential for rewards. I keep encouraging others to explore as much as they can, and I sincerely hope you shall do the same, Doodle. You may be a sketch for now, and perhaps stay a sketch for longer than you might expect, but at least you still have the potential to be more. Be grateful for that choice in your life. Shall we continue on this next week?
I'd love to, and who knows? All those elements may come back into what I finally end up being. Just gotta do what I can with where I am. I'll keep investing in these two options for now. Maybe it's through one of those I discover my exact destiny I'm being drawn to be. Well, thank you, Doc. I hope you too can continue to become and to be all that you're meant to be, and thanks for helping us all do that too.
Glad to be of service, Miss Doodle Dabble. I wish you best of luck in discovering the best you can be. Take care. I'm going to have to ask how she keeps doing that. It's good to be helping.